Hello YouTube, my name is Nero, and today we have some Borderlands 2, and Borderlands 2 is just going to be the backdrop for this video because it's relevant to the video, but the gameplay is not exactly amazing. So it's me just running through the caustic caverns, doing the perfectly peaceful mission with my level 61 Craig the Psycho. That's what's going on. More importantly, we're here to talk about a piece of gaming news that came out yesterday. There is going to be another Borderlands game. Now this is not going to be Borderlands 3. It's going to be more or less Borderlands 1.5. That may not make sense to you. So, the game itself is going to be called Borderlands the Pre-Sequel. As bad of a name as that is. It's a pre-sequel. It's a prequel to the sequel. Borderlands 1 was the original game. Borderlands 2 was the sequel. Well, this is a prequel to the sequel of Borderlands 2. So basically, as confusing as this is, it's going to be Borderlands 1.5. The game is going to take place, and the events that happen within the game are going to take place between Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2. That's how it's going to end up working out. Now, like I said, this is not Borderlands 3, and this is not even being developed by Gearbox, as confusing as that is, but I have an interesting theory on that. So this is going to be developed by 2K Australia. Alright, so it's not going to be developed by Gearbox themselves, who were the people that, developed Borderlands 1 and 2. Gearbox is going to be overseeing it. That's a good thing. Gearbox is going to actually be overseeing the game, make sure all the ducks are in a row and whatnot. But my theory on this, is that while 2K Australia is working on this next game, this Borderlands the Pre-Sequel, and yes, that is the title of the game, and goodness, I know it's bad. It's almost as bad as branding as the Walking Dead Telltale game. So, you got the Walking Dead Telltale games, and it's like, alright, so we got the Walking Dead Season 1, Episode 1, Season 1, Episode 2, Season 1, Episode 3, then there's Season 2, Episode 1, Season 2, Episode 2. Like, I've done the videos of the Walking Dead game on my Let's Play channel, and it's very hard to write tags and to make titles and to make thumbnails for that series. So it's like, alright guys, come check out Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 2. And like, people are just get confused by that, that disconnect. But this game gives me the idea that if 2K Australia is working on this next Borderlands game, and Gearbox is not, what's Gearbox up to? What's Gearbox up to? What are they working on right now? Could it be Borderlands 3? This game is set to come out in the fall, right? The fall of this year, so 2014. Does that mean in the fall of 2015 we're gonna have a next-gen Borderlands 3? No one's really seemed to be talking about that. That's something that just came to, that's the first thing that came to mind to me when I heard that this next game was actually going to be developed by 2K Australia. So let's start talking about this. What's going to be happening here? What are we doing here with this brand new Borderlands game? What are we doing with the Borderlands, the prequel? So Randy Pitchford, who is the head honcho over at Gearbox, he is stressing. He is trying to stress as hard as he can on social media that this is not a DLC, but rather a full title release, which is going to be freaking cool. So we are getting a new Borderlands game. It may feel slightly different, but looking at the gameplay that is up of the game so far, it is exactly the same as Borderlands 2. It's gonna be an old gen game. It's not gonna be next gen. It's not gonna be developed for the Xbox One. It's not gonna be developed for the PS4. It is going to be developed for the 360, the PlayStation 3, as well as the PC. So it's gonna be an old gen game, and they're basically just gonna take all the assets from this game, Borderlands 2. I mean, you look at the graphics, like you look at how the game works, and you're looking at different things that are in the game. It's like, wow, that does kind of look just like Borderlands 2 DLC because it looks exactly the same as Borderlands 2, which I'm okay with. I love the art style in Borderlands 2. Having a new developer come in here that could change around the art style, make it feel different, just make it completely not good, similar to what, in my opinion, they did with Modern Warfare 3 when they had Sledgehammer working with it. I mean, it was Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer in Modern Warfare 3, and having this new developer in there, it made the game feel so different compared to like any other Call of Duty that came out before that it almost ruined the experience for me. So we're not going to have that issue with 2K Australia working on this next Borderlands game. That's something I'm excited about. The entire storyline, the entire plot, or the environment that's going to be in this Borderlands, the prequel, is we're going to be set in space. And more specifically, we're going to be on the moon. And this is going to bring a whole bunch of different elements to the game itself. So for Borderlands 1 and 2, the entirety of it, we spend our time on Pandora. The planet of Pandora is where we spend the entirety of our time. There's always that Hyperion moon base up there in the sky, but we never really get to see what's happening with that, And this may be kind of a spoiler, but one of the things I talk about towards the end of the Tiny Tina DLC is they just got access to the moon base, which kind of led a lot of people to believe that Borderlands 3, or at least a new DLC, we're going to be heading up to the moon base. We never actually got to go there via DLC, but this next game is going to feature a lot of things up there on the moon, in space, the moon base. We're going to be doing all of that kind of stuff, which is just going to be freaking awesome. So one of the things about being in space is there is no oxygen in space, and in this new game, they have these things called Oz kits, which is basically going to be part of this new O2 system for oxygen, because you're going to need to be able to breathe, which is going to be kind of an interesting thing, I think. There's going to be parts of the game where you're being able to run around and you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about your oxygen at all. Like, you're enclosed, you're indoors, you're fine. You don't have to worry about oxygen. But when you're out and about, like on the moon, you need to keep grabbing these Oz packs that give you oxygen, and they also give you other special abilities, which is gonna be cool. Another thing we're gonna be able to have are jetpacks, and there's gonna be double jumping. It's gonna be a Borderlands game, but there's definitely gonna be some new mechanics. It's not gonna be just like a piece of DLC that maybe lasts for 6 hours or so. There's actually going to be a bunch of new mechanics and new things built in with this game. Speaking of new things, we have a whole new element, which is going to be basically an ice element. In Borderlands 2, we have a new element called slag, right? And this slag, if you cover them all up in slag, the enemies take more damage from other elements and other weapons and stuff, and it was a neat twist, and it was something definitely different that people wanted, going from Borderlands 1 to Borderlands 2. Well, going into Borderlands the prequel, this new ice element is going to be a part of the game, where basically your gun shoots ice bullets that can slow down enemies, and eventually, I guess, even freeze them, which is just going to be cool. I mean, it's a whole new element, something completely new. And speaking of new things, there appears to be an entirely new weapon type actually coming to Borderlands the prequel. Kind of like a laser gun, or basically, I've only seen it on Malawan weapons, which if you guys have played Borderlands, you know the Malawan's all about elemental damage and things like that. Basically, in Borderlands, every different weapon manufacturer has their own thing. Like, TUR is known for really fast reloading. Malawan's known for really good elemental damage. Jacobs are known for just like high base damage. Trying to think here, Vladov is known for really fast fire rates. That's like kind of the whole point of each different weapon manufacturer. Well, in this new weapon, which once again I've only seen on Malawan weapons, you basically shoot lasers. Like, it's a whole new thing. I don't know. There's gonna be 4 entirely new characters coming into Borderlands the prequel that we're gonna be able to play with, and they're gonna each have their own class, which is completely awesome. There's gonna be many different things happening with that. They're all gonna be different. The 4 people we have Nisha the Lawbringer, which you guys may remember from Borderlands 2. It's Handsome Jack's girlfriend, and in Borderlands 2, she is the Sheriff of Lynchwood. Alright, so she's going to be one of the 4, shall we call them, Vault Hunters, even though I'm not entirely convinced they're going to be Vault Hunters. We have Windhelm, which you guys may remember as basically the first boss that you play in Borderlands 2. He's basically a guy controlling a giant robot. Apparently, he's going to be one of the guys that we can play as in Borderlands the prequel, and he's going to be an actual person, not like a fully robotic person. He's going to be one of the quote-unquote, shall we call them, Vault Hunters. Another one is going to be Athena the Amazon, who apparently was a Crimson Lance assassin. And if you guys played Borderlands 1, you guys know that the Crimson Lance played a big role in that game, and she was a member of that. She's going to be one of the characters. And the 4th and final quote-unquote Vault Hunter is going to be a Claptrap. A militarized version of a Claptrap, and not much is really known about that. And here's the thing, if a Claptrap style character, like a robot, is one of the quote-unquote Vault Hunters of this next game, one has to assume that you don't have to monitor your oxygen levels if you're playing as the Claptrap, because you're a robot and you don't have lungs. So that's going to be a thing. All in all, I'm pretty excited for this game. Not so much is known about it right now. Only a few YouTube channels have gotten like this exclusive access to be able to check out, like early access to be able to play with the game, where they maybe have gotten some early footage. I'm not one of those channels. I don't have any inside footage or any exclusive stuff to show you guys. All I can do is say, man, I'm excited for this game, and talk about it a little bit for you guys, while sharing with you some Borderlands 2 gameplay on my PC, because I like Borderlands 2. I'm definitely excited for this game, though. I'm definitely excited for this game. I cannot wait for it to come out. I cannot wait to learn more about it. Borderlands 2, man, this is something that may not be as well known about me, but I am a giant Borderlands fan, man. So Borderlands 1, I played it and I beat it. I didn't do too much with it, but Borderlands 2, good God. Alright, so if you guys know anything about the game, so I got myself to level 61 with Axton the Commando on the Xbox 360. I also got Zero the Assassin up to 43. And then, after playing all that time on the console, I bought the game for the PC to try what it was like in Ultra settings. And I got Craig the Psycho up to 61 on my PC. And there, on my Let's Play channel, youtube.com/NerosLet's there is a 100 episode Let's Play where we beat the game from level 0 to level 61 and go all the way through Ultimate Vault Hunter mode with me and my friends. And like, I have beaten this game, like the main storyline of Borderlands 2, probably 10 times. Probably more, right? Because you beat it 3 times on console with just Axton, and 3 times on PC with Craig, and then 2 times with Zero, and plus the other times I played with my friends on different random characters, and it's a great game. The Borderlands series is a fantastic game. I highly suggest if you guys have not yet tried out the Borderlands series, to try it out. You don't necessarily need to go back to Borderlands 1 and start from there to be able to understand really what's happening, because a lot of the things that happen in Borderlands 1, you get to learn all about it during Borderlands 2. So if you have like a store around you where you can go rent a game or something like that, I suggest, man, if it's $5 to go rent a game, go rent Borderlands 2. Play it for a weekend. I guarantee you can make a decision whether or not you guys want to purchase the game itself and try it out. The game itself is freaking fantastic, super fun to play, and I highly suggest, if anything, you guys trying it out and seeing what you guys think of it, because it's definitely awesome. And apparently coming this fall, we've got Borderlands the prequel, an entirely new Borderlands experience with hopefully Gearbox in the background being a little secretive, also working on a full-length featured Borderlands 3, which can act as a sequel to Borderlands 2. That will be freaking awesome. I cannot wait to find out more about this. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. And if you did, please be sure to leave a rating where you guys feel the video deserves. And let me know in the comments for all you Vault Hunters out there. Because I know I can't be the only one watching this video that's played Borderlands 2, right? I cannot be the only Borderlands fan here. So, what is your guys' favorite character in Borderlands 2, and how do you guys like to run him? So, for this video, I'm playing with Craig the Psycho, and Craig the Psycho is probably my favorite character in Borderlands 2. He's a piece of DLC character, by the way, if you didn't know about that. His main thing is melee, and usually I'm just a melee hog with this thing. Like, I'll run all my specs to make my melee as amazing as possible. But for this particular video, since I'm playing solo and not playing with my friends, I decided to switch up my specs and make it so I'm more about bloodlust and more about using my guns and stuff. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to leave a rating. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.